Hello, tea family. How are you this evening? Welcome back. I'm glad you're here today. As some of you know, we had hoped to do a session today on how to create a tea blend. Unfortunately, as is the case for the past couple of months, uh, our plans didn't go quite how they were supposed to. We were supposed to be away for 4 days, and it's going to be a little bit longer than 4 days. So I do want to say that we're changing things up a little bit. And I thought since I was traveling, this would be a great time to talk about tea and traveling and different things like that. But the one thing that didn't change this week is that we still get the chance to be together today and chat with each other. So say hello into the chat or comments. Let us know you are here. And I might not be sitting at my own table or desk, but I'm not in a hotel room this time, and we are visiting family. But even if I was camping in the mountains, waiting at an airport, there's one thing that does really help when I travel, make it feel more like home, and that is a warm cup of tea. Now, I'm not actually drinking tea today. I'm actually drinking water. It is pretty hot where we are. So I'm drinking water tonight, but that kind of got me thinking, what are some of the reasons why so many of us really love tea? I don't think it's just the fact that tea is absolutely delicious. I think there's a little bit more to that. I think there's something that tea represents for all of us too. So we'll talk about that in a minute, but I'd love to hear from you today. So again, say hello in the chat or the comments, depending on which platform you're using. And as always, if you have any questions along the way, feel free to put them in there as well. I'd love to answer your questions. You don't have to wait for our monthly Q&A. And my handy dandy assistant is over there this time. Oh. And he will help me keep track of the comments so that we know what's going on. So, all right, big question. Do you travel with your tea? Well, I would say most of the time when I plan ahead, yes, I do. I travel with tea and I pick up my flavors that I'm going to want. Sometimes I want and now it's not going to be a surprise for anyone, but definitely my serene sunrise for the morning. But sometimes I'll pick out a different tea for the afternoon or the evenings or caffeine-free blend. Depends on what my mood is. So maybe you pack your favorite loose leaf tea in an infuser, or you put it in reusable tea bags or something on that item. Maybe you're like me and you can't imagine going on vacation without your favorite tea. But what about your favorite mug? Do you bring your favorite mug with you? Stephanie, sure. Hey, Stephanie. Stephanie's also drinking water. Yes. Heat wave. It is almost the 4th of July. Anybody ready for the 4th of July on Thursday? I think it gets celebrated on Friday. It's next Saturday. Sorry. My days are a little messed up, everybody. I just need a little forgiveness, but all right. So, have you gone on vacation and never thought to even think about bringing your tea? It's just something you enjoy at home, but when you go on vacation, you don't necessarily. Let us know. It's kind of interesting. So I don't necessarily bring my favorite mug, but I do tend to bring like a travel mug. Yes, it is purple. It is not my ultimate favorite, but this was the one that was really clean and ready to go. And my favorite one is glass. And since I was getting on an airplane, I figured this would be better. This has a different kind of liner in it. And my ceramic was a little bit too big for travel. So, but I typically will bring tea, and I will bring a travel tea tumbler so that I can have it in the morning and go. And then we will make way to wash this out at night. And Stephanie says she's brought her own loose leaf tea bags and a travel tea maker. I typically will also do those things unless I think I'm only going to be gone for 4 days. And then I talk myself out of bringing my own electric tea kettle that's travel and it packs down. But I was like, we're only going to be gone 4 days. And again, as I said, nothing has happened as we thought it was going to happen so far this spring into summer. So, it is what it is. But I like to think ahead. I like to bring things. So And I think each tea lover reaches a point where they realize tea isn't just something you drink, it's something you experience. It's something think about it. When someone is sick, a lot of times it's tea and toast. Uh, when we are stressed, we want to have a cup of tea to calm down. When somebody has really exciting news, we celebrate with tea. When we just need to think about something, a lot of times we'll reach for a cup of tea. Comfort, I reach for tea. Tea is just this wonderful way of slowing us down. The world is telling us to hurry, but tea quietly says, stay a while, rest for a second. And I really do love that, especially since so many times I am not on vacation at this point either, but so many times, even when we are on vacation, when our kids were little especially, we would try and pack so much into just a few days. Oh, well, we're only going to be there for a short time, and if we were visiting family, well, then we've got to make sure we see this person, this person, this person, this person. And it became a worse schedule. We needed to go home just to relax from our vacation. And I think it's because we're trying to pack so many things in. And that's one of the reasons why I really do enjoy, because it reminds me, take a second, take a moment, relax. So, okay. Now, I do want to talk about traveling with tea. So I would say I do really like infusers. This one is great because I can use it for all different sizes. But this makes it really easy if you plan advance, if you're going to be gone for a long period of time. Or you think you're only going to be gone 4 days and then you're going to be gone for a couple of weeks. And you have to order in your own supplies. It's only happened to me a couple of times so far this spring. I didn't bring tea and I ended up having to order the ingredients and put it together myself, which I did do again. But I really do like the infuser. If I'm already washing out my travel tea paraphernalia, it's really easy to wash this as well, and then easy to get the 3. The other thing that I will do when I think I'm only going to be gone a day or 2 is I will get an airtight container like this Tupperware container, and I will create the tea bags in advance. And so I will stuff these at home. I will weigh them out. I will make sure I have everything ready to go. I will tell you a secret though. I will not mix my flavors. I will put like all Serene Sunrise in here, and then I will seal it up. And then I will get another one if I wanted, say, Lemon Zinger or Harmony or Summer Butterfly. Each scent would get its own little container. And the reason for that is I don't want to mix my fragrances. I don't want them to start to melt. So, and that just makes it easy, because then even if you didn't bring your own cup, there's typically cups as you travel. If you're in a camper, you're going to have your own mugs. If you're at a hotel, they typically give you what my husband will call the baby cups, the little kid cups. He's always going for a big cup of coffee in the morning, and then they give him the little 6 ounce to 8 ounce cups, and he's like, this is a kid cup. I need like 5 of these, All right, technically he only uses 2 or 3, but still, you get the idea. But this is easier because if you figure the size, you can pre-do it, and then it's just a matter of pop it open, enjoy your tea, brew it multiple times as needed, and then it's super easy. These are biodegradable, the ones that I use, and so I don't feel bad about tossing them as I go along. And again, little things of comfort as you travel. Comfort isn't always necessarily where you are, what you're going through. It could be a favorite blanket, a favorite book, but for people who love tea like we do, it's often our favorite tea. Even if we're staying someplace unfamiliar, you have the water temperature set, the leaves start to steep, everything, you inhale the fragrance of the freshly brewed tea, you take that first sip, and it's just comfort, and it's a sense of home and quiet. So again, if you do travel with loose leaf tea, the few things I recommend: bring small portions in airtight containers, perhaps a travel infuser, If you love a particular mug or one travels really well, like I said, I won't bring my glass travel mug in here, but consider if you're driving. If I was driving, I would have brought that. And I do recommend you keep a couple of caffeine-free blends in case you want to relax in the evening. It's really just a little tiny tea kit that you can kind of pack for yourself and really enjoy as you go along your trip a little bit more.
You can make them too for sale.
We could. So, which tea would you refuse to travel without? What would it be? I think I know what it would be for Stephanie. I know what it is for me. What about you, handy dandy assistant? What is the one tea that you would not travel without?
Coffee.
Coffee tea? No, coffee is not an answer.
Coffee.
Anyway, one of my favorite things is always learning in each part of the country or around the world how tea connects people differently. Different countries have different traditions. Some drink tea in complete silence. Others have elaborate ceremonies. Some add milk. Some add spices. Some sweeten it. Some drink it straight. But no matter where you go, tea really has that wonderful ability to bring people together. Stephanie would bring onyx chai for the day and starlight pear for the evening. So starlight pear surprised me. The onyx chai did not, considering that's your favorite, Stephanie. And let's see, I see another one. Emerald Garden. I can understand that. It's going to have a little bit of caffeine and then really good iced. That's great. And those are the things. So what I will tell you is when I was in Georgia recently, it was funny. The very last night that I was there, or 2 nights that I was there, I stayed in a hotel and got up that morning. It was my last full day in Georgia. And I went down to the hotel to get breakfast. And yes, I did have my own tea with me at that point. I brought my own tea bag. I had it all set and ready to go. And then I went downstairs and I went into the breakfast area. So if you've been to a hotel that serves breakfast, you know, they have all the canisters, the carafes out. And I saw that none of them were labeled. There were just 3 carafes right there. None of them were labeled. And so I was like, okay. Then when I got up, there was this little tiny, and I mean tiny, less than an inch sign on one of them. It said decaf. I was like, okay, that's decaf. I don't know what this one in the middle is. So I got one of the cups and I put it in. I was like, it was coffee. I was like, yep, that's not what I want. And then they had a place where I could pour it out. So I poured it out because I was like, if it's 2 different kinds of coffee or 2 coffees, I'm going to be very sad because I won't have any hot water. There was no hot water anywhere else. And I went to the 3rd one on the right and it was hot water. And I was like, okay, now I can dump it out, take a new cup and continue on. And the lady looked at me and I was like, I don't drink coffee. I drink tea. And she's like, oh, you drink tea? And then it was an immediate connection and an immediate conversation in a way that I don't always know coffee people have with each other, because I guess it's just not as surprising. But finding another tea lover. And what's funny is we talked about tea rooms and different things like that. And we had been to some of the same tea rooms. And it just became this huge connection with this stranger in a hotel room as I was getting ready to do the last things to be able to fly home to Kansas for that short period of time. And that's what I'm talking about. That connection over tea, that instant friend, that instant thing that you have in common with someone, and being able to talk about tea and loose leaf teas. And then we looked at the teas and we're like, yeah, I wouldn't want any of that. Ooh, I tried that once. It wasn't very yummy. And then both of us loving loose leaf teas and different things like that. It became this huge connection in a hotel where I was completely by myself, where then all of a sudden I had a member of my tea family there with me, you know, and it means sometimes just it expands and brings joy to your day. So that's one of the things I really enjoy about traveling and having my tea. It's almost always a conversation piece when I pull the tea out, or if I do use an infuser. I typically don't use an infuser at a hotel. I typically use the tea bags. But it's always an experience because people just don't expect it.
Tea people unite.
Tea people unite is correct. So but think about that. So let's do a little tea trivia. I would love to have you guess, and even if you're watching on the replay, please also guess how many cups of tea do you think are served every day? Now, we know tea is the second most consumed beverage in the world after water. So how many cups do you think are served or consumed every single day? And we're looking for just broad stroke numbers here, people. Broad stroke numbers. So go ahead and put it in the chat or the comments. I'm interested to see what you have for an answer. Pen Dandy Assistant, what do you think the answer is?
37.
37. Just in the entire world, it's 37.
Yep.
That's it. No more.
That's it.
Okay.
That's fine.
Stephanie's guess is 3 million. I have 10 million. All right, I'm going to give it a couple more minutes. So think about it. Right at this moment, someone in Japan, Scotland, India, South Africa, the United States, Canada, they're all, someone in every one of those countries right this second is probably drinking tea.
Antarctica.
I don't know about Antarctica. It's really cold. It is cold there, so they probably would be wanting that tea. So, all right, I am going to go back to the other answer to the question. I've given everybody a chance to respond. It's actually billions with a B. Everybody was guessing in the millions. I love that, but it's actually billions with a B. Billions of cups of tea are served and consumed every day. I was surprised. I didn't think it would be that high. You know, I thought multi-millions for sure, maybe 100 million, but not billions every day. That was just amazing. So, all right, since I am traveling and I'm at a really kind of unique place, if you look out, there's really pretty woods and everything behind me. That is not a stage prop. That is actual woods. And if you walk out there right now, watch out for ticks because it's a heavy tick season. But if you could take a cup of tea right now, anywhere in the world, where would you go?
My house.
Your house? I feel your pain on that one. I agree. But like it could have been a quiet cabin, an English garden, a Scottish castle, a cruise, a beach at sunrise or sunset.
Antarctica.
You're really preoccupied with the handy assistant's really preoccupied with Antarctica today. I do not know why.
Let's go to the other answer though. But in Antarctica, it's so cold.
Anyway, I just figured I'd ask, like, if you could have a cup of tea anywhere, where would it be? So, while you do that, I'm gonna just wooden cabin in a hammock and 0 bugs. I like it. 0 bugs. Definitely would be good. Nice, comfortable temperature so you could snuggle in but not be too hot. Yes. Right there, Stephanie. We need to find where that cabin is and book it someday. Well, not today. I do kind of want to be home for a little bit first. That reminds me, I do want to say that we are obviously not going to be able to do any orders until at least the 11, 12, 13, probably the 14th or the 15th. Orders would get shipped out the 14th or the 15th of July. I apologize. Life has just thrown us quite a few curveballs this summer, and we will not be home until then, and so we won't have time. However, one of the announcements I was going to make that was going to be a big thing is Harmony. I know I mentioned it last week. I'm going to extend Harmony all the way through July, just because I know that most of the season that it was out for, it was unavailable because we were in Georgia and away from our supply and everything like that. So we also won't have a 4th of July tea in time for the 250th, but I do have one kind of pre-made, so we'll bring it out at a different point in time, maybe towards the end of the year as like a New Year tea. I don't know what we're going to do with that one, but we do have the recipe and it was really pretty to look at, so we'll see. I do want to say that I don't know what we're talking about next week. It's obviously not going to be what's on the calendar because I will be still out of my home for, we won't be back in time for next week, but 2 weeks from tonight, right? Let me check my calendar really quick, everybody. I think 2 weeks from tonight, we will be back. And that's when we'll go ahead and we will do our Create That Tea blend together. Okay. So again, life changes. And I think sometimes today's this week's unexpected change in plans just really was a time to remind me of something important. Home isn't always a place. Sometimes home is a feeling, and sometimes you can connect with other people anywhere in the world. But sometimes home is just that familiar aroma of your tea, or the ritual of making your favorite teas, or traveling and exploring something new and different while still having that fragrance and flavor of home at the same time. And so kind of no matter where life is taking us as we travel this crazy journey, there's always time for another cup of tea and to connect with people. So I hope everybody has an absolute wonderful week. I will see you next Monday. You'll find out during the week what we'll be talking about, but I hope everybody has a wonderful evening and we will see you all later.